So The Fall Guy was a really fun movie for a lot of different reasons, both because of the film itself and also because it's a great highlight of the most important people in film, the people who are the backbone of the action and adventure movies and who are also the backbone of many other movies that you wouldn't even think a stuntman is a part of. These unsung heroes, these stuntmen and women who make the movies that we watch possible. A lot of the times when we watch films and we're enjoying an insane action sequence, we're actually really enjoying the work of someone who we will never know the name of and who will never get the fame. And that's why I found it really interesting that at the Oscars, Ryan Gosling actually highlighted the stuntmen, but there was no award for them.
To the stunt performers and the stunt coordinators who help make movies magic, we salute you.
There should absolutely be an award for stunt crews at the Oscars. As a kid, I wanted to become a stuntman because of one of the greatest stuntmen of all time who actually did all of his own stunts. Now, the funny thing is that actually becomes a running joke in this movie, which I'll talk about later. I was the kid who saw Jackie Chan in Rumble in the Bronx jump from one building to the other and wanted to do that. I climbed on top of supermarkets. I ran into traffic dodging cars with my best friend. I swam across a creek in Cobb's Creek in Philadelphia, which you should not do because them creeks was dirty. I even went on government property and almost got arrested when I was in a totally different town right across the bridge. It was a weird time. I really wanted to be a stuntman, and then I grew to learn that these dudes get hurt. It's not all fun and games. And that's one of the things that's highlighted in this movie. So let's get into it. Our main character is Colt Seavers, who's played by Ryan Gosling. He actually ends up in a crazy accident that leaves him injured for many months. He goes into a depression. He doesn't want to come back and do stunt work again. While he was on the set of that movie, he fell in love with a character named Jodie, played by Emily Blunt. Now, a year passes and he's unknowingly brought onto a movie that Jodie is directing. This is her feature debut. This is her first movie. She's so excited. And of course, the one person who she doesn't want to see is Colt Seavers. They go through an incredibly hilarious back and forth about their former love lives, about forgiveness. She puts him through the ringer while trying to make her film. But that's not the only thing that's happening. He's also being set up and framed, aka the Fall Guy, for a murder, and he has to escape all of these dangers of real life hitmen trying to take him out. I absolutely love David Leitch's direction of this film. David Leitch was actually a former stuntman himself, and so he knows all the ins and outs of what it means to be a stunt person in the industry. And he does a great job of incorporating that into the story. Of course, I have to mention the action scenes or, the stunt work that takes place during this movie. You get to see it from the perspective of a stuntman. You get to see the literal conscious decision of Ryan Gosling's character to jump off of a building. He knows he's going to take that bump. He knows it's not going to feel good, but he does it anyway. Sometimes he's doing it for the movie, and other times he's doing it to survive the assassins that are trying to take him out. There are awesome sword fights and gunfights in this movie. Winston Duke is also great in these action scenes as well. It is so fun to watch these action scenes through the perspective of an actual stuntman. Or, Ryan Gosling's playing a stuntman, but then you have the stuntman come in for him and actually do the stunts, which is awesome. But I can't go any further without talking about our two main stars and their dynamic together. And before we get into that, I'd love for you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can get more reviews from me. And also check out that join button for the new channel memberships that I have that will give you exclusive content, including stickers, memes, behind the scenes, and everything in between. I did not mean to rhyme all that, but you came to my channel. You came to hear me rap. No, you didn't. Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling are freaking hilarious together. Their love story is so incredibly cute, which is not a word that you would typically associate with an action comedy, but I would actually go as far as to say that this is an action romantic comedy. All three of those elements are balanced incredibly well throughout the duration of this film. Throughout their time on the set of Jodie's movie Metal Storm, which is essentially a hilarious spoof of Dune, it even uses the Dune style aesthetic, the music, the sandy planet, the aliens and the humanoids fighting together. And one of the funnier parts of this movie is Colt and Jodie using two characters from Metal Storm to speak to one another about their past issues. That scene is freaking hysterical. It's the best scene in the movie by far. And another part of the story, the thing I was mentioning earlier before, is Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is freaking hilarious in this movie as the obnoxious actor who takes for granted the stuntman that's behind him. He's the actor who wants all the credit for the stuntman's work. He goes around telling people, oh, I do all my own stunts. I'm the guy who really puts his life in danger. You have to think that David Leitch, who was a former stuntman, probably dealt with actors just like this. So he's telling that side of the story, which I'm sure other stunt people resonated with. Another character that's integral to the story is Winston Duke's character of Dan Tucker. Dan Tucker is the person who's responsible for making sure all of the stunts go according to plan, that everyone's safe. And he plays Ryan Gosling's character's best friend, and their dynamic together is just hilarious. They speak in action movie quotes, they use props to defend themselves. His character was one of the highlights of the film. Now, the movie isn't perfect. It does have some issues with pace. It slows down almost to a halt in the middle. There are definitely still fun times to be had, but it feels like it stays within the same beat a little too long. So how many sparks would I give this movie? I'm going to give this movie 3.5 out of 5 sparks. I had a great time. I laughed a lot. It was slow in the middle, which is why my score dropped a little bit. But at the end of the day, I would highly recommend that you go see this movie. And if you have seen this movie, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time.